Welcome. We'll get started in just a couple minutes. Good morning, everybody. So we're right at 8:30. Thank you so much for joining and welcome to our Thursday morning gathering brought to you by Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare and Tufts Health Plan. I would just encourage folks, since this is a webinar format, to open up the chat and select everyone so that we can communicate through chat. And for those of you that are new, I want to extend a really warm welcome to everyone. And these practices run anywhere from 12 to 14 minutes, and they're fully guided. So if you're brand new or you've been practicing for a long time, everybody is welcome. And we begin these sessions with a question. And I'll tie that question in with the later part of our practice. And so the question this morning is to name someone in your life for whom you are grateful to know. So this could be somebody that has been helpful to you, someone who is a good listener, someone that's just easy for you to be with that may, you don't feel a sense of judgment, you feel more of a sense of ease with this person. And when we close out the practice, I tend to close with loving kindness practice. So we're going to extend that loving kindness practice to this person who is significant in your life. So I can see Christy, my best friend Karen, my neighbor. Oh, this is great. 100-year-old mother-in-law, dad. Wow. Wow. And know that this, that this does not have to be the only person. And I would also say to extend it to a pet. So this could extend to a pet as well. Tammy is saying Suzanne. Yeah, so Suzanne's taking a little bit of time off. So usually this is, she hosts these Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday morning practices. My son and daughter, yes, Suzanne. I'm gonna throw Suzanne into this mix as well. So grateful for her wise guidance during these sessions. My neighbor and friend. There's a few of you mentioning neighbors, which I think is so nice because I feel like often, we're kind of isolated in our homes, and then with COVID, somewhat isolated in our homes, but it makes a difference to have, even if it's just one neighbor that you know is available to you or helpful to you. All right. And I would encourage folks to, if you, when we finish up the practice, I want to share some kind of exciting news about a special guest that we have who's going to be offering a couple of 1-hour seminars in March, and they are no cost. It's just part of our community service. And it's Dr. Judson Brewer. So for anybody that was on yesterday, you heard about it, but I'll pull up a slide at the end that will give you some information about it. All right, so let's go ahead and move into practice. And as I said, these practices run like 12 to 14 minutes, fully guided. And I'm going to close with a metta, loving kindness. Another way, like another word that I love about this practice is just simple friendliness and wishing well for ourselves, but also for others. So we're going to be wishing ourselves well, and then we're also going to be extending that wish to the person that we've highlighted. So take a minute or so, or less than a minute, to find a posture that feels like it's going to work best for you this morning. If you're tired, I would suggest doing a standing practice. That just helps with that sense of wakefulness. But standing or seated and keeping the eyes open but gaze downward. Otherwise, if you feel like your energy is pretty good, you could still do standing or seated. And again, in terms of eyes open or closed, your choice. So let's just all begin with a couple deep breaths. And you can go ahead and do those in whatever rhythm you want. We all breathe at different paces, different rates. And make your exhalation a little bit longer than your inhalation. So go ahead and do a couple of those. On that exhalation, see if you can surrender your weight into the support of the surface, into support of the ground below. And just allowing yourself to feel held by the earth so that you can actually relax in, surrender in to the degree that you can. And we'll begin by letting go of all that has happened so far today and release anticipation of what's to come. So bringing the mind and the body together in this moment. As we settle in and make micro movements so that we're holding ourselves in a way that's upright and engaged, but at the same time, there's ease in the body, and as much as you can bring. And just simply notice what sensations are making themselves known. So it might be that the points of contact with your body and the surface is noticeable to you. It could be the heartbeat or any other sensations. So movement in the morning or any time when we become still, we can notice the physical kind of vibration of that movement. So could be temperature, could be tingling or pulsing or vibration. So whole body awareness with a receptive attitude to whatever is occurring. And I'm going to ask us to take a minute now to expand awareness outside of the body to include sound. So sound that may be happening in the room that you're in or outside of the room. Making a soft mental note, hearing. So there may be sounds that arise, kind of do their thing and pass, such as a vehicle going by or a plane or but noticing the arising, just taking in sound, engaging the sense of hearing. And allowing sound to remain in the background as it will, either a steadiness or arising and moving and leaving. And bringing awareness back into the whole body. And taking a moment to notice any particular areas that might need more attention from you, and letting your attention go there. And again, bringing this kind of receptive lens to whatever it is you're experiencing. Could be pleasant and it could also be unpleasant, but it's a receptive attitude. And let's now find an anchor for the wandering mind. So, something that helps us stabilize and steady the mind. A stable and steady mind really enables mindfulness to do its job, to see more clearly or to see with clarity how things are, how things actually are. It helps us see our intentions and our motivations with greater clarity when the mind has some steadiness. And so let's see if we can find an anchor. So we're not trying to stop thought. We're just, thoughts are going to kind of come and go. It's almost like the default mode of the mind. But we're going to decide that when a thought slips in unnoticed and then becomes noticed, that we're not going to continue on with the narrative, whatever it might be, memory or planning. We're just simply going to acknowledge it with a soft mental note thinking. Allow the body to soften and then return to your anchor. So you have choices with the anchor. It could be breath sensation anywhere in the body where it's easy for you to track. So as you inhale and exhale, just simply where do you feel the movement of the breath internally? Where do you feel that? The rise and fall of the belly, the chest, the nostrils, or just simply you can feel the movement, the overall movement as you inhale and exhale. You could also take the palms of your hands and rest them on the top of your thighs, and that point of contact, the feeling of that could be what you return to each time you see that the mind has wandered into thought. You could also use a consistent sound that may be in your background. So take the next 30 seconds or so to kind of explore a bit, see what might be helpful for you this morning, just something that you can return to over and over again, kind of like um, doing repetitions, lifting weights, only the quote weight in this case is the wandering mind. Noticing where your mind is. Soft mental note, thinking. Notice your whole body. See if you can bring some softness, yet engagement, and then simply return to whatever you're using as your anchor. And again, noticing where your mind is. Not a problem when lost in thought. Thoughts slip in. Let your body soften and simply return to your anchor. As we begin to close this practice, I'm going to have us transition from focusing on an object, whether it's breath or sound or another sensation, and we're going to move into loving kindness, sometimes called metta. I like to call it friendliness practice. And I'll ask you to call to mind the person who came to you when I posed the question, who are you grateful for? Who in your life are you grateful for? Knowing there are probably a few people, but who did you call to mind this morning? And bring up the visual of that person, or perhaps it's a pet. So just kind of bring that image to your mind's eye, just kind of holding the image of that person or that pet. And really feeling the warmth of why that person came to mind. What is the reason? What are the kind of qualities that you admire? Maybe it's the ease of being with them, but the beauty of who they are as a person has touched you in some way. And just seeing if you can feel the impact of that in your body. The acceptance, the capacity to listen, to be without judgment. And we'll take a moment to wish them well. So there are lots of different phrases you can use, but for today, I'll guide this and may you be well. So as we hold this image in our mind, may you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. And may your heart be soft and open. Again, may your heart be soft and open. May your body be healthy and strong. May your body be healthy and strong. And may you be safe. May you be free from inner and outer harm of any kind. Continuing to hold the image of that person or that pet and the sentiment behind your wish for them. And let's go ahead now and we'll close out by moving to ourselves. So may we be peaceful and at ease. May our hearts be soft and open. May we be safe and protected. And our bodies healthy and strong. And whatever good comes of our practice, may it be for the benefit of all beings. So as we go out in the world and drive and engage with friends, with family, may we bring these qualities of heart and generosity to all that we do today. So if your eyes were closed, or even if they were open, just taking a moment to kind of reorient to the space you're in, take a minute to look around, do a little bit of a stretch. And before you hop off, I do want to share a slide with some information. All right. So we are super excited to be bringing Dr. Judson Brewer back. So Judd has partnered with us over the years on various things, all mindfulness related. And he just recently wrote a book called The Hunger Habit. And so we're offering free virtual seminars, one on March 5th from 12 to 1. The audience for that is aimed at clinicians because they can get a CEU credit for attending. But if you can't attend on the 19th, you certainly are welcome to attend on the 5th. So the 5th and then the 19th. And these sessions are open to anybody. So anybody at all. So feel free to go ahead and share with family, with friends. We then have another thing that is a follow-up to that. And our really wonderful instructor, Kel Juilliard, is basically going to take what is in Judd's book and the concepts of Judd's book, and we're breaking it down into 4 lessons, April 3rd to April 24th, just for 45 minutes each. But really talking more about what's in the book, how to engage in these practices that Judd is suggesting. All the information, including registration, is at the point32health.org/the-hunger-habit. If you go to that website, any questions about this will be answered on that website. So I want to go ahead and stop the share. And yeah, Kel is absolutely wonderful. Let's see. Hold on one second. I want to go back to the slide. These sessions are recorded and available. Oh, will they be recorded? That actually, I'm not too sure. I am not 100% sure about that. Okay, so there it is. Point 32 health, the-hunger- whoops, sorry, there's a typo in there, hunger habit. So they will be available on demand. Thank you, Tammy. And we have a couple minutes left. So if anybody has any, any kind of thoughts or observations about the practice that we just did, any questions, and again, any resources that you would like to share, we have a couple minutes to do that. But again, I would just encourage you to share the website with friends and family. And Judd is really wonderful, and so is Kel. Oh, Colleen, what is the phrase you use with these words? Inclining the mind. Oh, it might be like whatever we incline the mind toward, we practice. So, Colleen, that might be what you're at. So, whatever we incline the mind toward, we practice. So, like, I mean, an example of that too, is that if we're quick to judge, if we're quick to anger, and if you think about people in your lives who they have a quick, reaction to something, those habits get reinforced every time we don't see them clearly and give in to them. That's why in these practices, we're actually learning to increase the gap between impulse and action. So there's an impulse to do or say something. And as we practice, we start to see that habit tendency of mind with more clarity. That's like the beauty, I think, one of the benefits of this practice. So we can see, what's my intention here? What's my motivation? Is this in alignment with how I want to be on a day-to-day basis? And if it isn't, we can actually pause and feel it in the body, give us a little bit of space to then come out of the gate with something that's more responsive and less reactive and more aligned. I hope that's it, Colleen. I hope that's the phrasing. Yeah, okay. Oh, Jerry, Dan, yeah, the science of breathing. Oh my goodness, that's with the guy who wrote that book on the breath, James Nestor, and it's fantastic. It is such a fantastic interview. It's being replayed because I think they interviewed him a year or so ago. And so they're replaying that podcast that Jerry's referring to, and I cannot say enough about it too. It's really, really good. It talks a lot about nose breathing versus mouth breathing. Bringing loving kindness to someone who is not so easy to be shifts the paradigm away. Yeah. Yeah. And oftentimes it's starting with somebody that's easy for you, kind of starts to work that muscle of the heart. And then it's easier to move into, it can be easy from that point to move into a difficult person. But yeah, I mean, I think we start to see just our shared humanity. Well, we're right at 9 o'clock. So happy that everybody was able to join, and we will see you on Tuesday morning. So have a wonderful weekend. Okay, bye, everybody.